Good morning and welcome to Financial Independence, where hopefully I can help you achieve your long-term goals. Current position, we're down 2.74% today. Just a brief overview. I'll do an actual in-depth for each one of these videos, but this is my very first YouTube channel, so welcome in. I'm glad y'all joined. Y'all can, if y'all feel like it, like, subscribe. I'm gonna try to do 2-3 videos a week. Who knows? Maybe more, maybe less. Today we're going to be going over HYLN stock. For me, this is my highest conviction stock. Bought more today, around let's see, I just bought 50 more shares. Where's it at? 988, and it filled at 986, so even got a better deal on it. So the stock just continues to sell off. A lot of people just are losing faith. The stock keeps going down. For us long-term investors, and I'll get to where my predictions and all at the end. For us as long-term investors, this is probably one of the best opportunities that we got going for us right now. If you're a long-term investor, short-term, who knows? The stock could go 850. I don't really see it going lower than 850 because by the time it takes time to go to that level, HYLN, they're not the best with news. I will admit that. But they're busy. I mean, they just IPO'd within a year, basically. Right now, they're doing everything they can to try to get market share. They're signing new deals with companies. We'll get to that in a little bit. But they're very busy right now, and they're hiring a lot of people because they're ramping up. They're trying to get market share. They're ramping up their business. They're trying to take over, get ahead. Look at Tesla. They got ahead, way ahead. They're probably 3-4 years ahead of all the Fords, the GMs. And it went from, 2 years ago, none of these manufacturers, Ford, GM, Volkswagen now is trying to get a pretty decent market share. They were not considering electric or EVs in general. They were just sticking with the conventional ICE vehicles. Something came along, started taking market share, and they realized the long-term potential in that product, and now they're trying to play catch-up. So this is my highest conviction stock. It's currently 16.72% of my stock portfolio in Robinhood. I also have TD Ameritrade. I use that I put a little bit of money in there. That's my high growth. There's a little bit of a higher risk that things may not go as planned for the company. But it's got a lot of potential for growth. But Robinhood is my main investment account. I love Robinhood because really the user interface, that's what sells it for me. But let's start diving in. So I will point out, I'm not going to try to act like I got a super good price and, I've got a cost average of $10.02. No. I went through all of my buys and stuff because I started buying into this when it was still Tortoise Acquisition, ticker symbol SHLL. I started buying in the 20s. I stopped buying. I just bought like 200 shares in the 20-ish, and then it went up to 58, 60-ish or something like that for a 52-week high. I didn't start buying back in. It dipped below the 30s. I bought another 50 shares. I've really been adding ever since $15. If I had to guess, which I went through and I got a rough estimate of about $18 a share, so not that bad. But then again, we're down, I would say, roughly 40-45%. Just a quick math, I could be a little bit wrong on that. $18, $19 to basically $10 now. Trading at $9.91 a share right now. So let's get in. So as you can see right now, a $1.67 billion market cap. It's still kind of high, but for me, the long-term market cap or the total addressable market, the TAM of this, I really wouldn't be surprised $15-20 billion for long-term investors that are going to be in this stock 5 years. I would not be trying to play this as a short-term trade because there's just the market is dying around this as far as like investors. It's not hype, and Thomas Healy never wanted this to be hype. He wasn't Trevor Milton just putting up a bunch of BS around his stock or his company itself and what they're doing. So as you see, $1.67 billion market cap, and you can see, I mean, the stock. Let's go to the 52-week highs. It was somewhere, saying $50.34. Yahoo Finance is never really that right about it. I know it was around $58. You can throw it in the comment below. Remind me. So this is their they released this after their fourth quarter. This is their presentation. Let's get into this real fast. Already just got through looking at it. Start at the beginning. Not everybody's perfect. We're not even going to edit that out. Sorry for that. So as far as 2020, and we're going to go over when they were SPAC transitioning into their IPO, just to see if they are, telling the truth about this. So they achieved installation goals in 2020, which I believe, but we'll check, was 20 units, 20 semi-trucks into their hybrid. Partnered with early adopters that are strong candidates for conversion into large customers over time. So they're not really focused about the small owner operators right now, which is individual companies. They're more focused of these huge trucking companies. They have thousands of trucks in their fleet, and that's what they should be focused on right now. They're trying to get market share before Teslas and maybe a Nikola. I don't even want to get into that. I feel bad for anybody that did invest in that may have been a new investor and just kind of got on the hype train. So the market acceptance has continued to grow on their new customer adoption, and I want to say it was JMac Investing. I saw an interview he had with Thomas Healy, the CEO of HYLN. That he founded the company in 2015, and they're getting to a point now where customers are actually coming to them. They're not even having to reach out to these other large carriers and stuff like that. Now customers are actually starting to come to them, and they're trying to research, because these trucking companies, the main thing, yes, it is beneficial for tax reasons and just the publicity of the company for emissions, trying to go towards zero emission in the future. The thing they care about the most is their bottom line. How much money are we bringing in after we pay for fuel, maintenance? There's a lot of expenses. Insurance for trucks, there's a lot of expenses. The margins aren't that great for the trucking market, but they still make pretty good money, and the freight rates right now are actually pretty well due to all the Rona that's going around the world right now, because people are ordering from Amazon. They're ordering from all these e-commerce plays. How does that get shipped? Through semis. Yeah, maybe it comes from China in a large vessel or something like that, but how does it get to the warehouses? How does it eventually get to your house? Yes, UPS may ship it to your house, or Amazon Prime, but it's getting carried by carriers, large trucking companies mainly. So this goes over their battery module that they released, I want to say in February. So the main thing is recharges in 8 minutes. And another good thing that I got from this battery unit, you no longer have to have an APU, an auxiliary power unit. So when trucks are at truck stops, they're running an APU, which is a smaller motor that's usually fitted on the back right in between, or right in front of the rear axles, right after the cab. They usually run a smaller engine, and that'll power air conditioning units, refrigerators, small plug-ins, charging their phone, their GPS unit maybe. So they no longer even have to run APUs now. which APUs were a huge improvement over actually running the engine that powered the semi itself, which you're looking at a 12 to sometimes 14 liter engine that these trucks use to power their freight down the road. So not even getting rid of the APU now, they can use the actual battery unit. And if it can move a truck roughly 25 miles with the battery unit alone, zero engine being on, no emissions, it'll definitely, you're talking about 80,000 pounds being in the bag. If it's got that much power to power you 25 miles down the road, it's got enough energy to run all night, so the truck driver can get quality sleep, be back on the road as soon as possible. 8-minute charge time for that. Longer life cycle, 5 times as much life cycle, so the battery being fully drained, charged all the way back up. Any battery that you look at, it's like an engine. Over time, they're going to start degrading. The chemical compounds that are in these batteries will start degrading. 5 times as much of a cycle life. That's a huge improvement. And then as far as like safety, I know they started using the lithium ion. It's an LTO chemistry, lithium ion battery, which improves cooling. With any kind of discharge that you're energizing something, there's always going to be heat involved. So they improve the cooling and the cell safety. That lessens the chance of fires or anything like that, which is greatly appreciated, I'm sure, by any kind of tanker driver that's hauling diesel, jet fuel, gasoline for your typical automotive applications that you fill up with. So the biggest thing about this, look at all the huge company names that a lot of these higher ups, executive management positions have. So some of these companies I don't know and I didn't really look at, but every single one of them have a company that I know just right off the top of my head is a consumer good. PepsiCo right here. Then you have Ford. Everybody knows, best-selling F-150 or pickup truck on the market. Goodyear, quality tires. Dana, which is one of the, in my opinion, that is the best axle producer. Another Ford executive right here. And this guy, Terminix, everybody knows them. Firestone. There's another big car tire, semi-tire, just tires in general, and Bridgestone, same thing. So a lot of these guys have experience, or guys and gals, they have experience in this market. So where are we going in the future? So the biggest thing right here, I'm trying to summarize it up as much as I can. Moving towards commercialization, so these bigger markets, these companies have thousands of trucks. So they're leveraging the industry-leading consultant to establish robust and achievement timing plans. How fast can we get these trucks to market? Let's start scaling up. Expanding engineering team with significant skills and expertise in the automotive space. So they're targeting people that are already been in the automotive space. Like they already know how to power a vehicle, what it takes, reliability issues that they may be experienced, even with cars and stuff like that. If they've experienced, maybe this component right here should be more heavy duty because it experiences the majority of friction, any kind of suspension issues with the axle, down bumpy roads, a lot of different things, a lot of different life experiences in general when they're at these other companies that they've experienced. So they're initiating on-road validation tests, which will continue through 2021. So they're getting the product right out of the gate before they start selling these products, which is, if you look at any good company, they've already tested before they went to the market and started selling products. I'm sure most people, either Samsung or iPhone, they all get tested. That's just somewhat a comparison. I know it's not in the same space. All these companies, they test their products it's a lot easier to test and have a recall on maybe 100 to 500 trucks or something like that. Whenever if they didn't get something right, and there's 2 to 10,000 trucks out there, now they all have to recall them back. Maybe this axle or maybe this battery had some kind of recall that they got to go in and fix something real fast. It's a lot easier when you validate test on road, whenever you have small quantities of these vehicles that are out there. Building sales momentum for volume ramp up and next generation hybrid systems. So they're talking about the ERX right here, which it uses natural gas, preferably renewable natural gas. That way you have a net negative emission standpoint for the environment. So you're basically taking gases off of landfills, dairy farms. If you want to look more into that, there is another acquisition. The ticker is RICE, it's RICE, and they're kind of in the renewable energy space. If you want to research that more on your own, maybe I'll get into it, because it does somewhat pertain to HYLN, what is the renewable natural gas state going to be if you're a long-term investor in this company, 5-10 years out from now. So they're building sales momentum. That's their main thing. If you notice, a lot of this, getting market share, getting our trucks out there. That way we can test. Maybe we need to recall one of these vehicles back or 10 of them back because this part was deficient. It's a lot easier to do that. That way they have a more reliable vehicle and it's trusted. Another good thing about that is they partnered with Peterbilt, which Peterbilt and Kenworth, PACCAR, that's their publicly traded company too. They're known for quality. They're without doubt the best quality trucks in the market. So I'm very glad that they chose Peterbilt instead of not knocking off Freightliner or anything like that. But they were looking at Freightliner for a long time, which is a good value truck. But Peterbilt's more quality, I'm glad that they chose that market in the long run. As a lot of these companies are realizing, if we have trucks out there, yeah, they may cost $20,000-$30,000 more to the initial purchase price of it. They hold their value for a lot longer, and these companies are realizing that it's a lot easier to pay a little bit more upfront for a truck whenever they're not on the road, on the interstate, breaking down all the time, and costing the company downtime, which is where they can't ship stuff. So now they need more trucks, and also their repair bills. So, initiating customer demo deployment in late 2021, which maybe I could see them start to release stuff around September, around a lot more information on that. Commercialization in 2022, so they're going to be testing these products, and now they're going to start getting revenue, which is the big thing that I feel like has been kind of killing this stock. A lot of people they're not envisioning, they're just seeing the stock price go down. They're not envisioning the long-term TAM for this market, the total addressable market. So ongoing commercialization progress, outsourced engineering firms assist HYLN with commercialization efforts, building additional power plants for testing and improving design and functionality, supplier selection and production component sourcing. So they're actually going to be using a lot of these other manufacturers like Dana. It could be Peterbilt too. This could be like a factory add-on option. So if you go to Peterbilt now, you could get a PACCAR engine. You could get a Cummins engine or something like that. So I see this as being an option from when these huge fleets are ordering from Peterbilt, Kenworth. Later down the road, they probably will partner with Volvo, Freightliner, the big company names that are known for having quality trucks no matter what you pay for them. So it's going to be an add-on option, I feel like, in the future. Let's get that. So this is showing right now the infrastructure is already built out. If you see on this top slide right here, so they already have bio-waste collection, which was what I was talking about. They have dairy farms. I know they do landfills now. They have ways of storing it, ways of getting it to the station. That way you can fill up your truck. Hydrogen, which is not the fuel itself is clean, but the way the fracking procedures and stuff that they use now is not clean. If anything, it's worse than fracking for diesel. So the delivery source isn't there, the stations ain't there. So for natural gas, you have wind and solar, you have coal, nuclear, natural gas. These are the main the electricity grids. I kind of like how they done this. At the top truck right here, you see this is obviously HYLN, this is Nikola, and this is Tesla. Tesla is the main competitor. I don't even consider Nikola right now. So energy grid, transmission. So the energy grid itself. I saw this one article. Two Tesla trucks take up, for if they're on their fast charge cycle, two trucks alone take up as much energy as a whole entire manufacturing warehouse, which is insane when you're potentially talking about, and I feel like the energy grid will get there over time, but if you're talking about tens of thousands of these trucks on the road, they're all going to be stopping at Flying J's or wherever charge stations are charging up. That's going to be a lot of pull from the energy grid. And as I said, stations, they're not built out yet. They will be in the future, though. Tesla is going to be more the short term or the short haul. So 500 miles ish for a range. Maybe whenever they come out with the truck and there's advancements in the battery technology, furthering the efficiency of the truck, maybe aerodynamics and stuff like that, they'll be used for like maybe Walmart, moving from this warehouse to, I'm in Tucson right now, so maybe they're moving from Phoenix, Arizona to Tucson, Arizona, smaller loads, whereas if you're going straight East Coast, West Coast, or West Coast, East Coast, or anything over 1,000 miles or around that range, HYLN is going to, they're the only person in the market that's able to complete that mission right now. You see here, the generator operates at optimal efficiency to create electricity to charge the battery pack. Then it goes to the battery pack, and then the electric drive motors that are on the two rear axles in the back. And for fuel tank, you have compressed gas storage, whether that's RNG or CNG, and potentially, which they're already trying to further their research and development right now, is for hydrogen, which hydrogen, once we have the infrastructure built out, that will be used for long-term truck hauling. But like, we can go back to this slide right here. Future projections are around $3 a gallon, but right now it's about $12 a gallon whenever you have the diesel gallon equivalents of $1 using natural gas. So right now it's not feasible. These trucking companies wouldn't be remotely profitable. Diesel fuel itself is going to take up anywhere from, depending on how fuel efficient the truck is, how the driver is with the throttle, how efficient they are, and how efficient the team combo within the truck and the driver are together. You're not going to be able to pull any kind of profits when you're at $12 a gallon, because with diesel fuel right now, you're going to be averaging around 30 to maybe 40% of your gross income is diesel fuel alone, with the prices that we're seeing right now a little bit above the $3 range. So this is just showing their future growth right now. Right now it's the Hypertruck ERX. Then they're going to go to the fuel truck, fuel analog, where they're going to be operating hydrogen, renewable natural gas, and compressed natural gas, net negative emission capable, assuming you're going to be reusing renewable natural gas. And then they're leveraging the existing and new infrastructures. There's over 700 either compressed natural gas and renewable natural gas sources. So the infrastructure is already built out. They're not going to have to waste all this money building out infrastructures because they're already built out. And then you see the hydrogen fuel cell in the future, so zero tailpipe emissions, improves vehicle efficiency, and then future-proof solutions. Like I said, they're working towards hydrogen. They're just not playing in that category right now because it's not built out and it's not going to be for the next 5 to 10 years. As you see with, we'll go over the financial results right here. So the thing that I want to point out the most, people that are maybe hoping that this stock in the next year is going to be profitable, I'll tell you it's not going to be. That's just an honest standpoint. The biggest thing, we haven't really started seeing it now, but the research and development costs right here in the fourth quarter, you're seeing $2.5 million, and then for the fourth quarter of 2020, you're seeing $4.4 million. Full year, you're going to see $9.3 million for 2019, $12.6 million for 2020. So year over year, you're looking at $3.3 million extra. They're going to be spending a lot more money on research and development, calling their trucks back if they do have any problems with them, which with any product, you're going to have problems with it down the road. So they're going to be research and development. How can we fix this? Let's build a stronger part, more reliable. Potentially, can we make it cheaper and have it more reliable? So their research and development costs are going to continue to go up, and that's going to provide more of a net loss in the future. That's why I say this is not a good short-term play. Long-term play, highest conviction stock that I have. As you can see, I think it held today 16 to 17% of my whole portfolio value. Like I said, we're going to go through here. $800 billion market opportunity, strong customer demand, and this was when they were still going into their merger phase with Tortoise Acquisition. Now they're already getting to a point like you can look at JMac Investing, go to where he was talking to Thomas Healy, the CEO of HYLN, and he didn't list out specific company names, but I guarantee you the HYLN Innovation Council that they just released for the ERX. I guarantee you some of those customers came to him without him even going to them like, hey, can we test our product in your company? Because he stated in there that a lot of these customers are now coming to them. They're not even having to waste money, maybe drive demos out and let the CEOs walk around the truck, maybe a couple of drivers and see what they think about it. So they're having customers come to them, which is helping out a little bit in their cost as far as providing a little bit less of a net loss on their balance sheet. As you can see here, they're already they're sticking to what they said. In 2021, they're going to be releasing the ERX, having it demoed out. 700 and something refueling stations. They partnered with Peterbilt. Like I said, in the long term, Volvo, Freightliner, International, Kenworth. Kenworth and Peterbilt are the same company. PACCAR. I think it's PACCAR. I want to say, but that's the company that owns the brands of Peterbilt and Kenworth, which are the highest quality trucks. As you'll see here, so you're going to be looking at 279, basically 280,000 for a Hypertruck ERX, and I can go ahead and tell you they're not going to have near as many problems as all the DPF filters that are on the trucks now for emission standpoints, the EGR, which is exhaust gas recirculation. So it's basically, that's one of the worst things for a motor. It does help out with the emissions, so it is a positive thing that we're doing right now with our available resources that we have right now for the trucking companies. So it basically recycles the exhaust gas, goes back into the intake, and then mixes back up with the fuel to go back into the intake, combust, and then finally get released, and then go through the diesel particulate filter, and then out the exhaust. It basically filters out, if you've seen any of the older trucks, when the black smoke's just coming out of the tailpipe and stuff like that, it cuts down basically all of that. But it's really not good for the engine at all. When you're talking about the exhaust gas coming out from diesel fuel, that's that black smoke that you see coming out, which is now getting recycled through the engine, that's carbon, and that's going back through the intake, coming into the cylinders where the pistons are coming up, and the cylinder wall, it's going to be over time scratching that up, and you have to change the oil more frequently. Existing infrastructure, so for hydrogen there's less than 10, electricity less than 10, Renewable natural gas and compressed natural gas, you have 729. And the diesel gallon equivalent right here, around $1. So payload capacity. This is another thing. So for Tesla, you're looking at 43,000 pounds. That's, like I said, it's more of a niche market for trucks that are moving 500 miles or less. Some of these more in-town loads, that's not feasible for over-the-road trucking. You're going to want to haul as much weight as you can. Right now, semis are limited to 80,000 pound gross weight, which is what the DOT approves. So with 59,000 pounds in the back with using the ERX, you're going to be right there at that 80,000 pound. They're going to try to ship as much goods as possible. These companies get paid by the load. So if they're having to ship out, if Tesla was somehow to go over the road hauling 43,000 pounds in the back, I mean, these companies are going to be missing out on 10,000 pounds of gross weight of products that they can't even move now, which they're going to have to buy more trucks. And as you'll see, estimated about $438,000 for a Tesla truck. Whenever they can get a cheaper truck that's potentially just as reliable, hauling more weight with the same performance stats, with a less recharge time, with way over double the range, almost 3 times the range when you're talking about Tesla having 500 miles. So I hope you appreciated the HYLN stock that we just done an overview of. I hope you got a standpoint of where I feel like this company is going in the future. They don't even have to capture the $800 billion market cap. Say they get 10% of that, and it's $80 billion that they're able to capture, which I feel like they're going to capture a lot more of that market as their technology advances. The biggest thing right now, load up on shares while they're cheap. If you're willing to buy the stock for, I don't know, some people bought it in the 50s, which I kind of feel bad for those people now. But if the stock keeps going down and nothing's fundamentally changed with the company, why would you consider selling now? Why wouldn't you buy more now whenever you can have a better cost average? You can build up your shares way before these companies come back and are basically saying this truck's awesome, which is what CAT, they've already kind of gave some feedback to HYLN. And they were talking about some of their dirtiest routes as far as emissions and all, and they cleaned those routes up with using the hybrid system that HYLN offered, and further advanced their profits too. So you're talking about emission standpoint, saving the environment. There's a lot of tax benefits with that, especially now that our president is Joe Biden. He's going to be giving back a lot of tax benefits to these companies that are trying to lean more towards environmentally friendlier options as far as, you know, getting goods transported from point A to point B. And they're going after a huge TAM. The total addressable market, like I said, is $800 billion. So with that, I hope that gave you some more information with HYLN. If you don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, have a great day.